Okay, guys, let's get into these TNA Impact live results. And boy, oh boy, um, I have good things to say about the show, and I do have some bad things to say about the show. Let me get some of the good. I'm gonna go good, bad, and then good. Okay, because I don't think they could have ended the show any better than they did. Um, the good production. And I was worried about this coming into Philadelphia because go back and watch some of the episodes from March. Production was not great in March. Production this week, on point. Clear video, clear audio. But most importantly, the fans were loud, the fans were rowdy, and the audio was able to pick them up. And I really shouldn't even be talking about stuff like that. But it's kind of part of what we do here because it's been a complaint that I've had. I've been doing Brace for Impact for over 3 years, and it's been a complaint that I've had every week that the video shit, the audio shit, you can't hear the fans. Yeah, not since they went to Chicago, that has not been an issue whatsoever. The show looks great, it sounds great. Whoever they hired as the director to take over for David Sahadi has been a home run hire. I don't even know who it is. They did not make an announcement as to who it is. But they got rid of that guy. Sahadi is now in MLW. And look, Sahadi had some strengths. He was really good at making the video packages, and that's what he did forever. And they were always really good. He was not a good TV show director. The show looked like crap his entire run leading that show. He took over for Kevin Sullivan, not the wrestler, Kevin Sullivan. And then once he took over for Kevin Sullivan, the show just looked worse and worse and worse. And the previous regime, the Demore regime, just let it happen. Never held him accountable. I've been saying for a long, long time that he should go. They finally let him go, and now look at the show. It looks great. It doesn't look like a big budget like Major League production, but it looks infinitely better than what it used to. We're starting to get closer to looking like NXT and a lot less like it looks way better than MLW right now. And I can't really attest to the NWA stuff. I have not watched NWA, but if MLW like is kind of like the baseline, TNA looks way better than MLW. Sounds way better than MLW. It looks like a professional show, and where at times where it just looked like an indie show with some cool graphics. That's what it looked like for a long time, but now it's starting to look like an actual professional show. Good stuff. So yeah, the good. It was production on point. The crowd in Philly was amazing. They drew a big crowd. Shout out Joe Hendry, shout out Hardy's, but the crowd was there. They were lively. This was you're getting close to an NXT crowd at this point. I'm like, you know what? If they had somebody from TNA on NXT this week and then they came over and watched the show, then I think that you might get some of those people to stick around because the show was that lively. It really was. But we'll get into the results, and then I'm going to get into here's one negative that I'm going to start off with. It was 4th of July. I love the fact that they didn't take the week off because that's typically a TNA move. Under the Demore era, that's a Demore move. The ratings are going to be down. Let's take the week off. That's not a good move. That's not smart. People have DVRs. They can watch stuff later. You don't need to take the week off. Plus, a lot of stuff is on the app. Now you have paying customers that are paying money specifically to watch that show. You should never take a week off. You should give them the show every week. Okay? That's why I am doing Brace for Impact every week. It's part of it. Okay? They took the week off. They shouldn't do that. So they but they're worried more about access, but no, TNA Plus is becoming not the primary source, but a primary source for the show. You should never take a week off. So they did it, and I applaud them for that. Good for them. Because I didn't watch on Thursday night. I watched yesterday. Oh, no, I take it back. I did watch Thursday night. I watched after fireworks. Yeah, no, I watched after fireworks with no commercials. And my TNA Plus experience has been great. So yeah, don't do that. Okay. But it was the 4th of July. They were in Philadelphia, the birthplace of our country. I mean, come on. It was right there for you. You should have done a 4th of July theme show. I'm not saying go super cheesy, but they could have you changed the color scheme a little bit and did some stuff. I'm not saying they need to go like bring in an anti-American heel and all that stuff, but they could have done a 4th of July themed show. Yesterday, one of the most shared memes on Twitter all day was the 4th of July match between Lex Luger and Yokozuna, where Lex Luger did the body slam challenge on board a Navy ship. Like they could do, so you could do stuff like that, right? They got Steve Macklin in the company, who is a decorated Marine. Don't say former Marine; he's a Marine for life, right? That's how they live. I love their culture. That's how they do it. So you call him, he's still a Marine. Okay, he's not active duty, but he's still a Marine. They could have done something for 4th of July theme. Missed opportunity, in my opinion. Missed opportunity to get your stuff shared for years because people like holiday themed stuff. I thought that would have been cool. But so we start the show off. We got Trey Miguel and Leon Slater fight to no contest when Charlie Dempsey interferes. They were having a real good match, man. Crowd was super into it. Slater's heading to the top rope, like I said, but NXT superstar Charlie Dempsey from No Quarter Catch Crew runs out and shove him off the ropes, and then in comes Wentz, and Dempsey attacks him as well. He even hits a gut wrench suplex on the referee before locking Slater in a submission and cranking away on it. Ton of officials rush to the ring to break things up and restore order. Dempsey exits as the crowd is shocked. Here's my only problem with this one. So, first match is a no contest. Okay, keep that in the back of your head. No contest is how we start off. But nobody from the locker room came out to help their boys. And so this one fucker is beating up 3 guys. Now, the real guy they really beat up fair and square was, and it wasn't even fair and square, he caught him off guard, was Wentz. So, like, he's not destroying 3 guys, but he's out there. He's got Leon Slater, and the referees are trying to break it up, but nobody from the locker room is defending their locker room. So if we're doing kind of a war between 2 companies, well, we did TNA's not looking so hot because nobody came out to defend themselves. But I think this is actually more of a war between the Rascals and the No Quarter Cash Crew. I think that's what this is about. And I think this storyline is going to cross over both shows. No Quarter Cash Crew, I think, has 4 people in it. And so maybe we'll get the Rascals with Desmond and then probably Leon Slater and not Myron Reed, probably Leon Slater. Because I don't think Myron Reed, like, he's not a signed guy, but they're going to want Slater in the match. And if that's the match that they do, that's a pretty good match. This should be pretty cool because I've been to prepare for this thing. I actually went and checked out some of the No Quarter Catch Crew stuff. So, but yeah, so nobody came out, and then okay, so first match of the night, no contest. Keep that in mind. Then we go to the back. Gia Miller knocks on a door, and out comes broken Matt Hardy and his wife Rebecca. We talk about how the system put their hands on her against all odds. They explain that Rebecca Hardy has been out for 208 fortnights, 8 years, and they vow to eat and delete them. And tonight, and then we will head to our first commercial break. And then Zach Wentz challenges Charlie Dempsey for next week. This is a good promo by Zach, by the way. He's looking directly in the camera outside. Only downside is it was night. It was like the show airs at nighttime, but it was daytime when they were outside. But he talks directly in the camera how they refuse to let Charlie Dempsey make a name off of their backs. They said that they know where he comes from. He says he knows they don't let that crap happen over there, so he's not going to let it happen over here. He challenges Dempsey for a match next week. And then we get Jody Threat versus Danny Luna in a 10-minute challenge. The match was okay. It wasn't a great match, but it was okay. Crowd was super into it. And in fact, they go 10 minutes and the crowd is chanting, they want 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. I was like, in my head, I was like, nah, I think we're good. It's like, yeah, let's move on to something else. But it's like, no, I think we're good now. But no, they're chanting 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. So then the referee obliges and actually gives them 5 more minutes. I don't know that he has the authority to do that, but he did it. They get 5 more minutes. And then immediately, Militia comes out, Masha Slamovich and Alicia Edwards, and beat them down. Second match in a row. no contest. We're seeing a pattern. Second match in a row, no contest. This reminds me of about a month ago when they opened the show with 3 straight matches that had the same finish: roll up, motherfucking roll up. Now we got no contest, 2 in a row. Here's the difference. I actually like so far. I like both angles independently of each other. The problem is they're happening back to back, and that's bad for continuity. You don't want to do that. It's too same. You're doing the same shit over and over again. Okay. But now we go. Oh, so Mustafa Ali's backstage. He goes to Santino Marella, who is busy. He gives a moment of his time to Mustafa Ali, who was campaign singing the rest of his crew. He tells Santino he jumped the gun last week and says he shouldn't have given a title shot to Bailey at Slammiversary. Santino is talking to making Bailey earn the shot next week. In a number 1 contender match after this, the show heads to another commercial break. And then we come back. We get a pre-show video package for the first of 2 Slammiversary qualifier matches, which was again pretty good. Like Frankie and Santana, these pre-show qualifier match videos are very good. And then we go into to the Impact Zone, and Santana first out. He's Santana versus Kazarian to qualify for the next match. Or qualify. Sorry, my brain just short circuited. I just did a Joe Biden in the middle of this podcast. Cut that. So this is Frankie Kazarian versus Mike Santana in the Road to Slammiversary qualifying match. And so the first 2 matches were no contest. These guys are having a really good match. Mike Santana is super over, by the way. He is over. That's a good. Now they got 2 baby faces that are really over in this company. Joe Hendry the most over, Mike Santana like second most behind him. So I think the company is in a good spot with those 2 guys at the top of their babyface division. And so let's go to the end here. They're having a really good match, by the way. They're brawling all over the place. Just good stuff. 2 great wrestlers. Santana calls for another STP, but out comes JDC. He grabs Santana's leg from the floor. Kazarian rolls out to the floor as well, and Santana hits a diving splash off the ropes. JDC then sends Dango. Sends Santana face first into the ring post. Kazarian watches as the referee counts out Santana, who is busted open. With the win, Kazarian earns one of the final 2 spots in the Slammiversary title match. Okay, first 2 matches, no contest. Third match, count out. Not good. That is like they need somebody to do some quality control in this company, because you can't do that back to back to back. It's the same thing they did a few weeks ago with the roll-ups. Is roll up, motherfucking roll up. Now we got no contest, and then followed by a count out. Now here's the I know they're doing an angle. They're trying to keep Santana looking strong, which is fine. But here I got 2 problems with it. The first problem is Moose told Dango that he wasn't worried about anybody in the match. He was only worried about one person, and that was clearly, now we find out that it's Santana. So he comes in and takes out Santana. He's trying to earn affection from Moose, right? Here's the problem. You just buried the 5 other guys in the match. By saying you're only worried about Santana, you have a Santana taken out. You buried Hendry, you buried Josh, you buried Kazarian, and you buried Macklin. so now, okay, so that's the first problem that I have with it. You buried the 5 guys in the match that are going to be there. You're not worried about them. You're only worried about Santana. When the guy that we're building is Joe Hendry, right? But I like the fact that they're trying to keep Santana strong, because I get the feeling that after Slammiversary, they got 2 shows, that's 2 premium shows before Bound for Glory. And so Santana probably gets one of those shows, right? He's probably going to headline one of those shows. I think that's smart. I'm okay with that. You're going to keep him strong. But why was it okay when Kazarian got a pinfall victory over Hendry? Come on. Now you're smart now. You should have been smart then. What you did, you shouldn't have done it at the time that you did it. You did it back to back to back when you got a month of tapings. You could have spread that stuff out a little bit. This episode really was just them setting the table for angles leading into Slammiversary. I'm okay with that, but you got to spread that stuff out a little bit. You can't do a back-to-back-to-back. You can't. It's not good for continuity, quality control, all that stuff. It's like having 3 matches in a row with a diamond cutter finish. You just don't do it. You spread it out a little bit. Okay. But they're trying to keep Santana strong, so they do the count out thing. But a few weeks ago, Frankie bops Joe Hendry with a foreign object and gets the pin. So I'm like, okay, you did a good job keeping Santana strong. You should have done the same for Joe Hendry. Now I get the feeling that Joe Hendry and Kazarian they're gonna pay that off in the lead up to Bound for Glory at some point, but still, I don't like the fact that Joe Hendry got pinned. Still to this day, not good. But now, okay, so Santana's out of the match. Now where do we go with Santana for Slammiversary? It better fucking not be Dango. We better not be putting him in the ring against Dango during that. That would make no sense whatsoever. But yeah, we got King Frankie's in the match now. And then ABC then sends a message to the system. They talk about their tag team championship aspirations. They boast creating their own luck and gloat about their wealth before touting their recent high-profile victories. They say that you can trust the system, but you can trust ABC is going to kick your ass. That looks like that's going to be the match Slammiversary. Then we get back. We see footage of PCO and Steph Delander's date being interrupted by First Class. We shoot some new footage of PCO freaking out afterwards. And Delander waking up in a room with him. We quickly cut the First Class duo of AJ Francis and Rich Swann, who boast about having the International Heavyweight Championship. They also continue to taunt PCO by gloating about choke slamming Delander through a table. Francis vows that he's not afraid to defend his titles anywhere, anytime. Morella appears and says that he heard he is a fighting champion. He says that that's great because next week he's defending his digital media championship. Win, lose at TNA Slammiversary will be AJ Francis versus PCO. I think he's defending both titles. I think the recapper here got that wrong. He's defending the digital media championship, and he's also defending the international heavyweight championship against PCO at Slammiversary. Yeah. So I think AJ Francis saw my video clip that I posted last week where I was talking about where me and Lucha were kind of going at it a little bit, talking about the DMC and the international heavyweight title, because he made a comment on Twitter about, yeah, he's taking the pre-show title in quotations and he's taking it to the main event of Slammiversary, and he's calling his match with PCO the main event. And that's like kind of a gimmick he's doing online. If you're watching, AJ, I appreciate you, buddy. We're big fans over here at Brace for Impact. But the digital media title is a pre-show title, and you're the pre-show champion. Congratulations. But I still like the international heavyweight title. And next we go to Broken Matt and Queen Rebecca. They defeated Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards. Now, I got tagged in this one by some Canadian asshole named King of the North. Swig of coffee for Canadians. We got a lot of Canadians on base today, actually. For this big exercise, they're part of our exercise coming up, a naval exercise. But King, my buddy, anything negative on TNA, he's got to tag me in. He likes to roast me. And he said, "Well, look, the show starts off with 2 no contests and then a count out, and then it goes into a Rebecca Hardy match at TNA LOL." But he hadn't actually seen the show yet. And I told IDM, I was like, dude, I'm just gonna wait for the show, and then I'll judge it then. I thought each angle independently of each other they were good. I have criticisms and positive and negatives on both. But the show, despite that, has been good so far up to this point. And then we get to this match, and it was nowhere near as bad as people was going to say that it was going to be. The crowd was super into it, and Rebecca Hardy did almost nothing. But you could tell there's a reason why she's retired, and there's a reason why she never made it as a wrestler. She's not any good. And she's in there working with Alicia Edwards, who also is not that good. Alicia Edwards is not any good. She's better than Rebecca Hardy. Queen Rebecca tried like a couple of like kicking maneuvers. I don't even know what the hell they're like. One was like a spinning leg kick, and they were like, she was slower than Luchasaurus, and it was just awkward. but it was very brief and she didn't do much. And then she sold a lot of the match. So most of what she did was completely inoffensive. And I thought this match was a fun match to watch. They did have some interference in the match, but it was, in the middle, and Brian Myers got sent away. So they ended up having kind of a clean finish too. So I thought it was a little bit too quick to have this match, but they went right into it. Match totally inoffensive, and the crowd was in it. The Hardys are over, and I know that upsets people, that offends people that don't watch TNA. They don't like the fact that the Hardys are over, and they use the fact that and I got comments saying, "Oh, well, they have the Hardys, so they must suck." Guess what? They're over here in this company, and if you don't like it, don't fucking watch. That's fine. There's other stuff to watch. WWE and AEW have about 30,000 hours of television each week that you guys can go watch, but they're here in TNA and they're doing fun stuff. And I thought this was a fun match. Outside of two moves that Rebecca Hardy tried to do that she just failed on, I thought it was a good match. So not like, oh, you think this match is good? Well, what'd you think about Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland? Of course, they're different things. They do different stuff, guys. Not everything has to be a fucking 30-minute classic with 1,000 kickouts. Okay. And I look 2.9, and then, you get the shoulder. That's important too. I like that stuff too. But come on, relax. This was fun. It wasn't like a 5-star classic. It didn't have to be. It's a TV match. The crowd was into it. Okay. It worked. Afterwards, we catch up with an angry Brian Myers. He says the ABC is in the mix and all plead their respective cases to Santino Marella. He yells at them and said, "This is a professional sports place. Things get handled next week." Myers thanks him for nothing, and then we head to a commercial break. And then when we get back, Jordan Grace is with her knockouts title over her shoulder, talking directly into the camera. She issues another open challenge for next week from anyone from anywhere, and if they think they can take her title, they can try. This is an NXT deal here. Okay, and then we get to the main event. And I want you guys to listen close. If you have not watched the episode, it's on YouTube. Watch this main event. And watch what they did with Joe Hendry. Guy's super over. Despite their best efforts to ruin him with the Frankie match and then eliminating him first in that battle royal, despite their best efforts to ruin Joe Hendry, they could not do it. Joe Hendry is super over. He is their top guy. And the way that they booked him in this match is exactly the way that I've been telling them to book him like a month ago. I said on this show a month ago, book him like he's John Cena. Nothing should be able to kill this guy. And Jake hit him with everything in this match. Big move after big move. And Joe Hendry just wouldn't die. And he just kept firing up. And the crowd was going insane for him. The crowd loved Joe Hendry so much in this match, they turned Jake Something heel. And Jake Something wasn't turning heel yet. And he didn't do anything in the match to become a heel. But he's a heel now. They did a month of TV in Philly. He's a heel now. Now you have to go with it. They were teasing it like a couple months ago with Diener. Now you have to go heel. Like there's no turning back. Like you can't be a babyface after what they did to him. Like he's dead as a babyface. This crowd shit all over Jake Something because they love Joe Hendry so much. That's how good Joe Hendry is right now. This was the best Joe Hendry match I've ever seen. Joe Hendry's not Will Ospreay. He's not Ricochet. You know what I mean? He's not Danielson. He's not Kenny Omega. He's not Seth Rollins. He's John Cena type. And that's the way they booked him. John Cena type. Fiery underneath babyface who does some big power moves when he gets going. And the crowd absolutely loves him. He's got charisma coming out of every orifice. Swig coffee for orifice. Some of you dumb kids go look up what that word means. But the way they booked him, go back and watch the show. Go back and watch all my Joe Hendry videos that I've clipped and posted on YouTube. My rants. I told them exactly how to book him. And this is how they booked him. Finally, they did exactly what I've been saying for months. They did it. He's over. He's the man. He's a made guy now. He's your guy. That's it. It's Joe Hendry and it's everybody else. I don't know how long this guy's under contract, but you need to extend that deal. You need to do it right now because you got something going here. I have never, it's been, I cannot remember the last time I saw somebody this over in TNA. I honestly can't, because the moment his music hits, the crowd went ape shit. Now I have a little bit of a criticism, and I think this is from Lucha. Lucha was the first one to point this out. I believe it was Lucha. They went to commercial during his entrance. They shouldn't have done that. You should have got the full entrance. But the music hits and he's walking out of the ring and this crowd is going ape shit. I mean, just unbelievable. Like, and I know you get that in other companies. You don't get that in TNA because TNA fans are typically pretty apathetic. And a lot of people, like, you got, like, outside of the small group of hardcore fans that they do go crazy, like the other people there, or it's just like, that's just what they're like. TNA's in town is like, oh, okay, I'll just go. It's a cheap ticket. I'll just go. And like, they don't know the names and they don't know the characters. They know Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is over. And they finally got behind him. They booked him in a way that will make money for the company going forward. They booked him in a way to lock Joe Hendry into being a top guy in the company. And if they sign him to a contract, he is going to be a top guy and make them money for a long time. They got something special that happened organically. You got to capitalize on it. And they failed to do so with the first few weeks of the run. In fact, he hadn't been on the show in 2 weeks. He hadn't been on the show in the last 2 weeks. Like he came and did a run in, I think 2 weeks ago, but that was it. He wasn't even really on the show last week. 2 weeks ago, he did a run in. So we didn't really get to see what he had to offer in Chicago. And then at the Chicago event, he lost. He lost to Frankie. So yeah, to say that they've been failing to capitalize on him up until this point would be an understatement. But he's so over, he overcame their bad booking. And he's doing great. So before the match gets started, the show has to do a quick commercial break. Yeah, so like they had to do a commercial. So Jake Summit hits the ring first, followed by Joe Hendry, who gets a massive reaction from the Philly crowds, from the recapper guy. And then he's just walking down to the ring and they cut the commercial. Like, guys, you got to soak this in. This never happens in this company. Nobody's ever this over in this company. And I think we're going to see it when the Hardys come out, because Jeff Hardy's that, like, it's Joe Hendry and Jeff Hardy. And it's like, then behind them is like Mac or Santana. Hendry cuts a promo asking something if he's really sure he's ready for the TNA World Championship. So Hendry kind of buries Jake a little bit, makes him look like an idiot. And then Hendry leads the fans in a chant, "We Believe" chant, and then the bell sounds to get the main event. So yeah, and then this match is just awesome. And they didn't really do like your typical main event style indie match. This was probably a little bit more WWE style, but WWE plus, I would say, like, because that's just who is in there. But Jake something I thought was great in this match. Jake something did everything he could to get this guy over. I think Jake should get rewarded for that. So I'm going to go about halfway through the match, and then I'm just going to hit the recap of this because I feel like I should do it some justice. But Hendry gets back to his feet and blasts something with some big chops in the corner. Something catches Hendry coming off the ropes with a Michinoku driver for a close 2 count. The fans pop for the kick out. Fans chant, we believe," as Hendry tries to fight from underneath, only for something to continue to maintain control of the offense. And that was the story of the match. Every time Hendry tried to do something, Jake would overpower him and get the heat on him. And Jake's not even a heel, and he's getting massive heat. This is insane. This is a great match. Like, I'm telling you guys, go back and watch this match. I'm probably going to watch it again. Commentators talk more about Nick Nemeth being laid out by a mystery attacker backstage. Nick Nemeth went to Australia with Ash by Elegance and Hammerstone, so they all missed a month worth of tapings. Earlier in the show, they talk about the other competitors who have qualified for the Slammiversary title. So Philly chants break out in an awesome "Something's Missing." I could not believe that chant. So something's missing. That was a great chant. The Philly crowd, like, they have like the Philly fans, like their sports fans, are all evil human beings, and their sports teams all pretty much suck, and the Eagles are bitches. but the wrestling fans, I dig the wrestling fans. I love those guys. And then Hendry muscles the sizable something up for an impressive power display, but something ends up taking him down in a vicious fashion with a power bomb for a close 2 count. Hendry kips up soon after, but he and something both hit clotheslines at the same time. They're both down and out. They're both down and out, being counted by the referee as fans break out and allow "This is awesome" chant. Hendry hits a cutter, and then with one arm, Hendry hits a massive standing ovation on something for the victory. With the win, Hendry earns the final spot in multiple-person world title match at Slammiversary. Fans sing along with Hendry, which cuts off as he grabs the microphone for a quick post-match promo. He says that he just became one step closer to becoming TNA World Champion. Fans respond with a "We Believe" chant. He says this happens because of the fans who pop. He says that you'll see us all in Montreal, and when he becomes the face of TNA, and don't you tell me it's not possible, because anything's possible when you believe. His music hits again, and the fans sing along. God damn, that's good. That is pro wrestling right there. They finally did it. They finally made Joe Hendry into something that we can all get behind. Finally, after weeks and weeks of me and telling him what to do. I don't know if I had anything to do with it, but I'm taking full credit. Just like that's exactly what we've been needing out of this company. An organically homegrown star. I know he's been everywhere, but he got over here. This is where he got over. He is their homegrown star. They finally got it. They finally have a guy in Joe Hendry, and it's been a long time coming. This company needs something like this. Somebody that's over to this degree. They finally got it in Joe Hendry. Good stuff, man. And that promo that he did put John Cena's face on Joe Hendry, and it's like the same. And that's okay. I think that's a good thing. I've been saying Joe Hendry needs to be their John Cena. He needs to be their Cody Rhodes. He doesn't need to be the, kick out 2.9, slap the leg and do all the moves. No. He's different. He doesn't have to be that guy. He needs to be the baby face that you can't kill. And when you beat him, it means something. He should not lose for a very long time unless there's tons of chicanery at play. That's the only time he should lose. Not one bop to the chin by a foreign object from Frankie. Not that. He shouldn't be eliminated first in a battle royal. He's the fucking guy right now. So he's probably not going to win at Slammiversary. No, he should not win at Slammiversary. They should hold off until, if Bound for Glory is in the UK, which they still have not made an announcement, but if it's in the UK, that's where you do it. I don't want him winning in that 6-way. So they need to do something crazy to screw him over and to get him out of that match at Slammiversary, to carry the momentum going into Bound for Glory. But this is the first time in a long time that I've been watching this company. I felt like they have an actual drawing card in their company. In fact, the Philly crowd was about as far as attendance, it was like doubled from the last time they were there. That's Joe Hendry and that's Jeff Hardy. That's why. And now Joe Hendry is the guy that they're going to have to get behind because Jeff Hardy can't go to Canada. So I don't think he can go to the UK either. So what they did last night with Joe Hendry was so perfect. And I'm so happy. Swig of coffee for TNA's booking of Joe Hendry from last night. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it for me this week. I really appreciate you guys in the chat being here. Sorry that I had to take a break in the middle of the show to go refill my coffee. I was dying. But yeah, this was a very fun episode. Despite all of the booking flaws, this is a fun episode. So I was real excited to come on this morning and talk to you guys about it. I'm probably going to try to come out with some more content this weekend to try to get some overtime content going. But JD and I will be back in full force next Thursday. But that's going to do it for us this week. And until next time, mahalo.